Hey everyone, Skull902 here for the Protocast 2, or the Pro 2 cast, whatever you want to call it. So today we're going to be discussing the newly released Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie that came out earlier this month on the day that we're recording this. 420 blaze it up, by the way. It's going to be an exciting time. I cannot wait to get into this, and I've got a good bunch of friends to do this. So let's just run down them right now. So first up, we've got Symphonic-Labyrinth.
You're running us down? What?
I'm running down the list, Symph.
Oh no, that was weird. Anyway, hi, I'm Symph.
Listen, you guys picked me up. I don't have a car to run you down with. So anyway, Rabid Sonic fan is next.
Happy Silver the Hedgehog Day, motherfuckers.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have the second of the duo from Ohio, Tortex.
Hello?
Yeah. He's Tori. So anyway.
Yeah.
And then finally, our last co-host here is going to be Trip.
Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier and welcome to Skull 902 channel.
Just by the by, Markiplier isn't actually here. It's Trip. So
What?
I don't know why I do
thought
that
it
for
was
most
Markiplier.
intros, but yeah. What's up?
So, with all that, out of the way, the introductions, I'm not running over and killing anybody despite Simp's fears.
We also have the Donkey Kong in the chat with us.
But after all that, the introductions are out of the way. Tori's going to be here the whole time this time, so we have an immediate upgrade from the last podcast on hosting. It's going to be a grand old time talking about the movie. So yeah, but before we get into everything, I just want to first of all just thank Trip, who's in the chat with us, as well as Lyrical Miracle 9608, because together they collectively donated $70 to me so that I could get things arranged and whatnot. So I did buy the tickets with my own money, but without the donation, I wouldn't have been able to pay Symph and Tori's way over here in the gas department. So thank you both so much. It was a really nice thing of you guys to do, and helped make this whole thing possible. So cheer, buddy.
You both.
On behalf of Lyrical and myself, you are very welcome, and we are very happy to help out.
Yeah. So, the next thing that I want to do, just very briefly, is I'm going to throw it over to a future version of myself for a little bit of an interview, because my buddy Dizzy Dennis has a really interesting story about how he saw the movie, so I just want to talk to him a little bit about it. Future Skull? Thank you, Skull from the past. So, I'm here with Dizzy Dennis, as I said.
Hello.
And, my goodness, Dennis, you have a very interesting story of how you went and saw the Sonic 2 movie, because for those who don't know, Dennis lives in Japan, and they don't get the movie until August, so you went to a U.S. naval base to see the movie, is that correct?
Yep, that is correct.
Okay, so my question to you then is, how did that get arranged, first of all? And just how was it like? It must have been an extremely unique experience for you. So how was it like to actually go on base and see this movie in your country before like anyone else gets to see it?
Yeah, well, it goes back before Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out, because I was very devastated because the news announced, oh, we got the Japanese voice cast announced. Here's who's playing the characters. Oh, and the movie comes out August 19th. And I was like, what? Right? So I was freaking out because if it was going to be a month later than the American release, I would have been fine with it, right? But 4 months and some change, I couldn't wait. So I talked to my friend who works on the Navy base. She's Japanese, but she works in the in one of the bars on base. And I was telling her, I'm like, hey, do you know if like they allow Americans on there? And she's like, I could sponsor you. I'd be happy to sponsor you. However, I can't promise they're going to play the movie. So every day I would check the movie schedule they had up, and unfortunately, they had on the weekend Sonic came out, they had Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe movie, and I was just like, Snake Eyes, like, you know, who's asking for Snake Eyes? So I called him up kindly, and I was just like, hey, I'm just wondering, like, I noticed Snake Eyes is on this day, but do you think that like it'd be possible for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 to be available then? And they're like, oh, we don't know, Chief. Like, this is kind of what we got. And I was like, oh, okay, well, thank you very much. So I kind of gave up, and I'm like, well, I'm going to have to pirate. I'm going to have to pirate the movie, you know?
Oh, my.
But then I checked, like, maybe 1 or 2 weeks later. I don't quite remember. But I checked later in the future, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was in the slot for the opening weekend. And so I called him up again, and I'm like, hey, I'm just wondering, I saw Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Is that correct? Is that going to be there? And he goes, yeah, we got some guy calling a couple of weeks ago saying he wanted Sonic the Hedgehog 2 there. So, yeah, we shifted Snake Eyes to the next day, but we're going to play Morbius and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on that day. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I'll definitely be there. And I hung up, and then I realized I single-handedly got Sonic the Hedgehog 2 put into the base.
You know,
yeah.
To interrupt your story a little, that reminds me of a story. Like back in the day when I was first getting into Doctor Who and binge watching the series, I was doing it mainly through airings of the show on BBC America, and like I was getting near the end of the 10th Doctor's run, and they didn't have the end of time there in the schedule. Like, you know, it was on every morning at like 9 o'clock. But they didn't have that. They just skipped to Matt Smith's first episode. So I emailed the network, and I was like, hey, can you guys like air this at some point? And I didn't get a response from them. But like 3 weeks later, the end of time appeared on the schedule, so I was able to DVR it.
That's awesome. So maybe you had a hand in making that happen.
I always wondered, like, as soon as that happened, if that was the case. So
well, let it be let your voice be heard. And it might pay off, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, that was basically the build up to it. So I spent it was still like a month or so away, or maybe 3 weeks, right? So I was talking to my friend on the base and arranging things with her, asking her for details and stuff. And during my live streams over at my Twitch, I even had people who were in Japan who were like, hey, just so you know about the base, you got to do this, this, and this, and be careful of this, this, and this. So I was really panicked. I'm like, oh my God. Is this going to work? Am I going to really be able to get it here? So on the day Sonic 2 came out here, it came out on April 8th in America. It came out on the base on April 9th. One day, no problem. You know, it's better than four months.
Man,
so,
I had to wait a day too, so, you know.
Yeah, right? So we saw it together.
Yeah, Saturday Brothers.
Yep, exactly, man. So me and my wife actually said, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go to the base this day. Do you want to come? And she's like, oh, you're going for Sonic 2. She's like, I saw the first one. She liked the first one. She's not a Sonic fan, so she's like, yeah, I'll go with you. It'll be fun to see our friend and hang out on the base and see what the base is like. And she's like, the movie will be a little bonus for you, and I don't mind seeing it. It should be fun, right? And not even being rude. She's just like, she does not care about Sonic, so you know. She knows pretty well, though. She knows pretty well.
I would imagine being married to you.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a Sonic room. I think at that point you got to be a little familiar with it.
Indeed.
But so that morning we got up at like 8 a.m. or so, and we got in the car and we had to drive over 3 hours to get to the base from where we live. That was a 3-hour drive. Nothing too special from that. A little long, nothing too exciting and everything. I was very excited the whole time. We passed by this store called Rings, and I'm just like, oh, look at that. It's Rings. It's a sign that we're going to see the movie. And my wife looks at me. She goes, like, you're really something special, man. Like, and not in a good way. So we got to our hotel. We put some of our bags down, and then our friend who worked on the base took us to the Navy base. And we got up to there, and they usher you into this little side area. I had to take my passport, by the way. I had my passport, and my wife had her our marriage certificate, just in case, and her Japanese identification. So they checked our information and everything, and they moved us to the side where from the car, they make you take the PCR test, the COVID-19 test, which is fine. I totally get it. It's just weird because there's a no mask rule, or not rule. Masks aren't required on the base, right?
Right. So
the fact that I have to take the test when nobody, I don't know. It's, it is what it is. But I took it. My wife took it. We did not have COVID, so that was fine. Then the next thing is there's these buttloads of paperwork that you have to fill out, just promising that you won't cause trouble, you don't have any animals or anything, all this stuff that
you're not secretly a Russian spy.
Yeah, exactly, right. So and the thing is, my wife is actually excellent with English. Just if people don't know, she's Japanese. She's from Japan. So her English is fantastic, but when you're dealing with contracts and legalese and stuff, you have to leave it to me. So I'm like going over everything with a fine-tooth comb. But we had different paperwork because she is a Japanese native and I'm a foreigner. So it was just this pain getting through everything. And then when I had recently changed jobs, literally a week before this movie. So they actually said it was a little suspicious. So I actually was moved away and detained and put into this holding area for people who broke the law. Now, I didn't break the law, but they wanted to question me on why did my visa change so suddenly? Why was my details so sporadically different? Because it seemed a little weird, which makes me happy because I can say I was detained by the police on my journey to see Sonic 2.
Did they did they go full on with it? Did they cuff you or
no, because I wasn't a threat.
Oh, okay. So they were just come along with us.
They had two officers, one in front of me and one behind me. Nice guys, no problem. But they didn't cuff me or anything, but they're just like, we need to take your side. I think also they knew that I wasn't trying anything, but they had to make sure. So
right.
Yeah, I wish I got cuffed, man. So we did that. They questioned me a little bit. Nothing, and I'm not even going into the details because it's just it's why did it change and stuff. It's nothing exciting. They didn't hold a a flashlight in my face or anything. Just asking me some questions, and then they're like, okay, and I gave them the details about my jobs and stuff, and that was that. It was fine. And then after that, we had to pledge our allegiance to America and its interests, which is literally dialogue from Sonic Movie 1. Where they talk about America and its interests, and I'm just like, all right. So we pledged our allegiance and everything, and we were on the base. And we went to the movie theater, and I was like, it wasn't open yet, but the windows were the glass windows were there. So I'm looking through the door, and I'm just seeing the Sonic 2 poster. And I'm like, oh my god, there it is. But as that's happening, one of the employees walks by me and I go, hey, can I bother you? And he goes, hey, what's up? I go, what time are we able to buy tickets? And he goes, the tickets go on sale at 5:45. And I'm like, oh, 5:45. Okay. So it's be back here then. You can get your tickets. So we spent the day on the base. I got to eat some American food, which was really nice. I hadn't eaten that in a while. Got to buy Reese's peanut butter cups and stuff. So it was really a bubble of America, And due to the coronavirus, dude, it was great. And being that I haven't been in America in over 2 years because of the virus, it was wonderful to kind of be in that kind of environment. I got to eat fried chicken and pizza. It was awesome.
Oh, man.
But then, so my wife and our friend were going to do some stuff. They're like, Dennis, you want to go and buy the ticket? Or tickets, right? And I'm like, yeah, sure. No, I mean, that's my mind's thinking about the movie all day. You know what I mean? I'm so concerned about this movie. And so I get there and there's two other people there, and I'm wearing a shirt with Modern Sonic, Modern Tails, and Modern Knuckles on it. And I walk up to the line and I go, you guys waiting for the movie? And they go, yep. And they look at me, and the guy goes, I bet I know what movie you're buying the ticket for. And then I look at him and I just go, yeah, man, 9 p.m., the Morbius show. And this guy's face was like, wait, what? Morbius? And I played it straight. So I'm waiting there, and then I realize something. There's a sign on the side of the theater that says, please have your base ID when purchasing a ticket, which means, like if you're not from the base, you shouldn't be purchasing the tickets. So I see that sign and I'm just like, oh my god!
Now they're going to detain me for real.
Yeah, now I'm going to get kicked out of here. And through my mind, I'm playing in my mind. I'm like coming up with excuses like, I traveled 3 hours, you got to give it to me, or please, this movie doesn't come out for 4 more months, or just like, please, you don't understand, sir. I have nothing else in my life right now. Like, I was coming up with countless excuses that I might have to say just to see this kids movie. But we go in there, and as I said, I'm the third one, so they have 2 tellers, taking in the tickets and everything. And it's a very small theater. It's nothing huge or anything. And the girl in front of me, she got her ticket. She walked in. The guy next to me was getting some snacks as well. So I walk up to my cashier, and I'm like sweating. I'm freaking out. I'm like, 3 tickets for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, please. Right? And she goes, mm-hmm. I go, is something wrong? She goes, you have to pay. I go, oh, right. So I give her the money, and then she gives me the text. She's like, enjoy the show. And then I start walking away, and I'm just like, oh, I did it, because I thought she was gonna like kick me out. And then the guy next to me, he's walking by me, and he goes, "Hey man, I thought you said you were like in a serious tone." He goes, "I thought you said you were gonna watch Morbius." Waited for my wife and her friend to get there. I took a picture with the poster, and I look like I've never been happier in my life. And we went into the theater. It had cute little decorations, like it had Chadwick Boseman on the wall, and Home Alone's Macaulay Culkin, and Back to the Future and stuff. A whole bunch of stuff all over the theater. It was cool. And we sat down and we waited for things to start. But one thing I was surprised about is you have to stand up for the national anthem in the theater because it's on bass, right? Not that it's an issue, but my wife and our friend who are Japanese, they didn't know. So I'm standing up. I'm like, you guys got to stand up right now. Like, right? Like, so.
Get that goddamn hand over your chest.
You are not getting me kicked out for being unpatriotic. So they showed this like propaganda reel of like army doing cool stuff, and then we got a trailer for a movie called Bad Guys. I think it's like an animated movie with like a wolf or something. It was the first time I've ever seen it.
I got the trailer in my showing too.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I'd never heard of it before, but I'm watching this trailer.
Yeah, same.
And my wife is like, do you know what this is? And I'm like, I have no idea. Not that it's bad. It's just I've never heard of this. It looked cute though. And then the lights went down and the movie started. And I will say, I know that I haven't been in America in a while. I've seen Japanese movies in Japanese cinemas, like Rurouni Kenshin or Dragon Ball or whatever. And I've seen American movies like Spider-Man and whatever. And Japanese theaters, the reactions and the whole atmosphere is to be very absurd. You're here to watch, you react a little, but you're not really like here for a show, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can people laugh and people go like, oh, and people cry, but it's kind of, you keep it contained. But this was an American theater with a bunch of kids, right? Like, and that's a good thing. A bunch of kids, a bunch of adults, a bunch of people. I'm an adult, I guess, my age, but older, younger. All types of people here. Really packed theater. Almost, I don't want to say it was sold out, but close to it. And I hadn't been in an American theater in a while, but oh my God, people were shouting and laughing and having like the time of their lives. And it was fun, but sometimes I couldn't hear the movie. So it's an experience. I was so culture shock, right?
Yeah.
This was reverse culture shock, right? It's like, this is my culture that I'm now getting shocked at. So yeah, and then we saw the movie. We stayed for the after credits scene, and we walked out. And I said to my wife, I go, "What'd you think?" She thought, like, being completely honest, I go, like, "What'd you think?" She's like, "I thought it was really, really good." I go, "Oh, I'm so glad you liked it." And I said to my friend who has no knowledge of Sonic, she knows what Sonic looks like. That's it. And I said, "Hey, did you enjoy it? I'm sorry I made you come." Well, I didn't make her come, but she wanted to come. I'm sorry I made you see the movie. And she goes, "No, that was so good. I really loved it. I got to see the first one, but I don't understand. What does knucklehead mean?" Because she's Japanese, right? I'm like, "Oh, knucklehead." And then I explained it, and and she cracked it up, and knucklehead became like her favorite word. So, and then we crashed at the hotel that night. We spent the next day in the town, not the base, but the town around it, and then we went home the next day. And that's my story of how I got to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2 the same time as America in Japan.
What an adventure!
It was fun.
It's really remarkable that you had a friend that was able to get you hooked up with that.
Yeah. Everything lined up. Even like I said, my job changed. Had I not changed jobs, I would never be able to get that Saturday off. So everything, all the planets aligned, for this to work out.
You mentioned the audience reaction and everything, how different American audiences tend to react to things than Japanese audiences. So I'm just wondering, and I'll mention this later in what was already recorded, but my audience clapped when the movie was over, and that's like the first time I think I've ever heard that, and it wowed me. Did they do the same at your experience?
Are we talking after credits or like when the story ended?
Like when the credits first started rolling.
Oh, okay. So the first ending. Okay. Yeah. People were clapping and standing up and stuff. It was a very impactful, especially with the last scene being what it is. People were very touched, I think.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was great too. And I was still recovering from the climax, where I got really emotional. So, yeah, everyone was really into it.
Hell yeah. So, again, like that just sounds like a big whole amazing adventure. I can't imagine you won't be taking that experience. What am I trying to say here?
I'll hold on to the memories forever.
Yeah, that's it. you know your words better than I do.
No, dude, I get it, because I'm an English teacher and I still can't speak, so it's okay.
Yeah, but you'll hold those memories near and dear to you for the rest of your life. So surely then, if the movie wasn't good, then perhaps that would be less impactful. So I gave everybody else this opportunity.
Sure.
So to be fair to you, Dennis, give me a quick rundown. What do you think of the movie?
Okay. As a Sonic fan, a longtime Sonic fan for almost 30 years, the movie was phenomenal, because it not only had the action that I wanted to see, like Knuckles and Sonic going at it and everything, and Eggman and Tails, but it also had a lot of heart, and it's a movie that understands Sonic's character, it understands how Sonic relates to others, and it understands those characters as well. So it hit those marks so well, and being both exciting and heartfelt, and also having so much for fans. I think that this movie does so much so well, that there are scenes where, I won't spoil, but there are scenes where characters are hurt by other characters. Characters react and protect people, and they do things that I'm just so touched and in awe that I can't believe it's real. And the movie, I just think, is phenomenal. But it's not perfect. It's not perfect in a couple of ways. There's a couple of lines I don't like, but this complaint, I think, has been shared throughout almost anybody who's seen the movie. There's a wedding B plot.
Right.
And I think it's good. However, there comes a certain point where it drags on way too long, and it's a little overbearing. But if they just cut that a little bit, it would have been fine. I actually think the plot is fun. It just runs too long. And I say that there are some pacing issues throughout other parts of the movie too. But overall, I'm just going to make this nice and compact. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 had all the action and the heart I wanted it to have from a fan of my entire life with this Hedgehog since the Genesis days. And while it had some pacing issues, I cannot believe that I am alive in a time where this movie is out and it's as good as it is. And it's definitely, to me, a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, we've definitely been treated to a couple of really, really good movies. So I can definitely see what you mean there.
Yeah.
All right, Dennis. I couldn't agree with you more about like how fantastic this movie is, and of course we'll be getting more into that in the main conversation just a little later in this podcast. But I really appreciate you coming around to share your story personally with seeing the movie and giving your thoughts on it as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, and if it's an excuse to gush about Sonic, I'm happy to be here.
Oh yeah, so it was a fun time having you here, and once again, just thank you so much, Dennis. And yeah, back to you, Austin, from 5 minutes ago. Now then, let's just get into the real meat of this whole thing here, the discussion of the second Sonic movie, and every great story starts with the beginning. I messed up that phrase a whole bunch, but let's just keep going. So the first movie was released 2 years ago, and nobody going into it, I think, thought that it was going to be nearly as good as it was. So
especially with that first trailer.
Yeah, especially with the first trailer. But man, after it came out and people saw it, it was a really exciting time, I think, to be a Sonic fan, at least for a bit. The movie was such a nice high after we'd had like basically nothing in the late 2010s from the time Forces came out. So it was a nice change of pace in terms of getting something, and especially since it was so good.
Before the redesign came along, I was expecting to basically just hate watch it.
Yeah.
Same, pretty much.
Honestly, same.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with any of you guys on that point. So again, it was just such a nice, pleasant surprise to come out, but they didn't immediately announce a sequel, but the money kept pouring in. And eventually, 2 months after the release of the movie, or so, like 2 or 3, they're like, okay, we heard you guys. You seem to like this thing, so let's put it together and make a sequel and all that. So
I think it helped that it was one of the last major movies to come out like right before COVID hit. So
yeah, it just in that 1 month before everything started shutting down, it made a shitload of money. It's not quite the highest grossing video game movie of all time, but it got up there, certainly.
Yeah, that belongs to Sonic too, apparently.
So yeah, they were making bank. The fans were excited, and then they announced a sequel. And I'm not entirely sure of the first year or so after the announcement. It's kind of a blank to me in terms of hype or announcements relating to the movie or anything like that. But I do remember one of the first things that came out. I think it was just early last year was when was it leaked, the photo of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles standing there?
Yeah, it was the dummy models that they use around for so people know where they're standing before there's just nothing there.
Yeah. And I believe that was the first indication that Knuckles was going to be in the movie, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
So that was pretty exciting. So do any of you recall when exactly you found out that Knuckles was going to be in it?
Probably that picture. I don't remember exactly when.
Yeah, I think it was that picture for me. But I do remember being considerably but cautiously excited, because it's nice to see new characters.
I remember their first announcement of it being the Sonic 2 movie logo with that Emerald Hill remix that doesn't actually get used in the movie.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember how it sounds exactly, but I do know that they just kind of did an Emerald Hill and then didn't use it in the movie.
They used it in a lot of the promotional stuff, but it's never in the actual movie.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But then, eventually, news came in, Jim Carrey was going to return and that they were filming and all this stuff. So I believe eventually the release date, April 8th, 2022, came up. And I think around the time that was announced, Symph, that was the real genesis, not to make a play on words or anything, of our plan, or at least reviving the plan, because we had been trying to do this since before the first movie, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think it was around that time. Gull was like, hey, this comes out right after your birthday. How about we do this? And I was like, yes,
Yeah, so that was fun trying to generate some hype and get plans together and whatnot. And my God, just to think about how long we had been planning on this, and like when it really became concrete in like November or so, it just feels all the more amazing to me that it actually worked out.
Oh yeah, I still can't believe it, but it was probably one of the greatest trips that I've ever done.
Yeah, so like as like the date kept approaching, we got more news. The first trailer, I believe, came out during the Game Awards, like the month after we had made the plans. Shit was getting pretty lit.
Yep.
And then eventually, the day comes, and we made plans to see the movie the day after release. And I guess we can get on to our next topic now, considering we're already really talking about it. But theater experiences, I guess Rabbit and Trip, you could talk about like your experience with the movie first, because I feel like Symphony and Tori will have a little bit more to talk about in that respect. So when did you see the movie, and how exactly was it like for you guys?
I saw it opening day. Well, I mean, technically you could see it on Thursday, but like I saw it on Friday. It's mostly kids with their parents there. Because it's a movie for babies, and I don't really have much to say. So yeah.
Was it a good experience?
Sure, people weren't being like loud and obnoxious there. People were mostly well behaved, so that's better than I can say for some movies.
True. What about you, Trip?
I also saw it on Friday, like release day, I guess you could call it. I planned with a couple of buddies the week before for the three of us to go see it together, because we were all very excited about it. And I made sure to schedule it to where we went to the theater when it was showing the movie at 10 o'clock at night, to avoid as many children as possible. And turns out that kind of worked, because for the most part, we were the only people in the entire theater. There was like 2 other small families with us, but for some reason they sat in like the back corners, where we sat like right in the middle, the best like spots in the entire theater. And I gotta say, it was a all around good experience. It was a great theater, very comfortable, great movie. Had a really good time.
Nice to hear. Like when we were planning it, we were originally thinking about seeing it either very early, there was like a 10:30 a.m. showing, or at 9 p.m. But Tori has a schedule that he is very dedicated to, so we weren't quite able to do that. So we had to see the movie at I believe it was a 4 p.m. showing.
Yep.
Thank fucking Christ. Like there were a bunch of kids in there and whatnot, but they were very well behaved, in my opinion. And so were the rest of the patrons in the theater. It was packed as well.
Oh, it was extremely packed.
Yeah,
I don't think there was a vacant seat.
Yeah, the entire thing was just filled up. So it makes me feel particularly happy that I was able to snag what I believe are the best seats in the house. Middle of the back row, has a nice vantage point of the screen and whatnot, and also eased a bit of my anxiety about seeing it in a theater with children too, because it meant that nobody was sitting directly behind us. So that was very nice. And just before I forget, actually, part of my hype up for the movie was seeing a bunch of media with Rabid, and that was a really nice thing to do. I made a whole Twitter thread about it.
And that was right after I got home from watching Sonic 2 as well, so that was pretty much an all Sonic day for me.
Yeah, so he got like reverse hype for the movie while I was getting hype for the movie.
Yeah.
And my goodness, just meeting Symphony for the first time, I was a bit nervous about that too, because I had been trying to avoid my brothers for like the 2 weeks before then, not because I hate them or anything, but because they were sick with a cold. So I was like really trying to do my best to just keep to myself and not get it. I was in a real risk of not seeing the movie. And then when I was trying to get ready to go, like, they kept getting in my way. Not to sound rude or anything like that, but like, things just so happened to be in such a way that it was getting a bit difficult for me to like make it out on time. So like, when I stepped out of my apartment, was right when they were pulling in. Couldn't have been better timing. And to meet them for the first time was absolutely incredible. In my opinion, like, I don't know, what were you feeling when I walked out the door and you saw me for the first time?
Well, for the first few seconds, like right before I saw you, I was like, there's a bunch of cats outside your apartment, and we almost
I was
ran
kinda
over a
focused on the
couple of
cats,
them.
Oof. Yeah, there are a bunch of kitties. I can attest to that.
So we had to like, we also missed the spot that you told us to meet you at, so we had to like turn around and come back around to that spot. So I'm like, I hope he's not standing there waiting for us, because if so, then I feel bad. Plus, the drive there to Michigan, fucking construction, oh my god, it was nerve-wracking. But anyway, so then Skull walks out and starts walking over to the car, and I just start bouncing in my seat, like, this is the big moment, this is finally happening, and yeah.
And then my first words to you guys were, "Oh my god, you do exist."
Yep.
What do you mean Symph isn't an eldritch being that's just in our imaginations?
So, like, I just want to like underscore how, first of all, amazing that it was that this whole thing worked out, and just to meet two great online buddies that I had known for so many years beforehand. That just in and of itself is great. We had like a bunch of fun, just like driving around, to even get there. Like, we visited my mom at her work at a gas station, and she actually paid for Symph and Tori's accommodations. I guess you could say the snacks that they totally didn't sneak into the theater at all.
Oh no, not at all.
Nope.
No, we're all good.
That would be immoral.
Yeah, we're all good patrons.
I've never snuck candy in the movie theaters ever.
Oh no, I certainly haven't either. Definitely not. So
Especially not for this movie.
So that was very nice of my mom to do, and we got checked into the hotel. By coincidence, the hotel I recommended to them and the one that they checked into was like literally just a few buildings away from the theater, so that was really convenient.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah, just it was great. We did cut it a little close though, because these two are like from the country and they didn't understand roundabouts, I guess. Was that the problem?
Those were
We
not
understand roundabouts. Those are not roundabouts.
Are they not?
No.
No, they're like hook turns or something.
I always thought they were called roundabouts.
They're like oval abouts. Like
Ovalabouts.
They're kind of like designated lanes for U-turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's just a city thing. I'd been used to them my whole life, so it was a bit interesting seeing them trying to like figure it out. But we did cut it close. Discovered on the way there that there was actually like a Sonic drive-in right by the hotel, but we could get into that a little later. So we're hauling ass trying to get into the movies, and thank God actually the trailers were still going when we got in there. So like that was the pre-experience, and then just the experience itself. Like I said, it was in my favorite seats, in my favorite theater of all time as well. The people sitting there were all very well behaved. They were like a very respectful, kind of excited audience, and
very energetic.
Yeah, energetic, but like still mindful of everybody else there, I feel.
Yeah, they were excited for what they were getting into.
Oh yeah, certainly. The crowd reactions were great. In particular, I feel like I was so amazed by this. because this is the first time that this is like ever happened when I saw a movie. Like when the credits started rolling, everybody started applauding, and I like, shit, man, I don't want to be the loser not doing it too. So I had to join in with them. It felt great though that the people liked the movie so much, and I was thinking about this, and I'm surprised I didn't mention it on Vinny's stream last weekend when we were like talking about the whole thing. But again, this is the first time that ever happened to me, and I'm kind of surprised by that because like the big example, the comparison I thought of was I saw The Avengers in theaters only days after it came out, and that one didn't get the applause. Like,
I was about to say, like, the last time I heard an applause was for the Avengers, so...
Yeah.
So, like, it was great, though. Oh, sorry, Tori?
It's rare outside of Marvel movies nowadays.
Yeah, man. Just, like, I was just amazed by that. Wasn't expecting it at all. But I guess that serves me because Symph and Tori weren't expecting the clapping during the movie theater chain's theme song.
No.
No.
That was surprising.
That's part of the reason why I love that chain of theaters and that like theater in particular, though, because that's just such a fun part of the experience.
Yeah, the theater we usually go to, they don't have anything like that, so it threw both of us off so bad.
Yeah, we're just sitting there, we're seeing a bunch of movies, and then we notice like it's show tunes playing on the movie theater screen, and it's like, oh, okay, this is like when the popcorn's flinging at you at AMC. Okay, I get it. And then it's all of a sudden everybody's just clapping, and it was like, what the heck? It was weird.
Oh man. Well, it's a rite of passage. If you attend an MJR movie theater for the first time, you have to be freaked out by everybody clapping to the theme song. That's what. When I originally went there, the very first movie that I saw was Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe when I was 11 years old in 2005. Good God, I'm fucking old. But the theme song happened there. The people clapped. I was like, what the fuck was that? Beautiful times.
I appreciate it though, because it kind of gives you the feeling like, okay, we're all movie nerds here. Like, this is cool. We're all on the same page.
Certainly.
I have one criticism of audience experiences. There was a teenage girl next to me who was pretty much texting through the whole movie.
Oh.
So
I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice that either.
One negative, but hey, a disinterested teenager is a lot better than an overly excited toddler.
Yeah, that's true.
You mean me?
Well, okay, I guess that's another thing I guess I could mention about the theater experience before we start getting into the story and shit was I was not ready for Symph's reactions during the movie.
Yeah.
Like she was like bouncing in her seat or like patting on the armrests of the recliner, like making these Symph noises, when something that she thought was cute or funny or whatever was going on. I distinctly
remember my leg, throttling my jacket.
Oh yeah, she like squeezed your hand at one point. I remember.
I took the brunt of my excitement.
Yeah, man, Symph was just a big ball of excitement. The one thing I remember the most about like your excitement was during one scene in the movie where like Tails picks up Sonic from like the first confrontation at the house and they're driving away. I think that you were so excited that you didn't hear or understand the joke that I told you because I turned over to get your attention and I joked, "Oh my God, Princess Sally just saved Sonic."
I did not hear that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, like, but it was so endearing though that you were so excited that you didn't hear or understand my joke.
Oh my God, it's Tails! Every time he's on screen.
Yeah, essentially.
I mean, you should have seen it when we went to the Sonic 1 and Tails showed up. She couldn't even bother. She lit up the whole theater with her squee.
I screamed in the middle of the theater and I started bawling.
She was
I am not ashamed to admit that.
I
just dropped my pencil.
See, she's so excited she's dropping things now.
If I was walking around the theater, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
So, yeah, man. I mentioned that the crowd applauding after the movie was over was like the cherry on top of the whole thing, and it just felt so special. It was so great, and I'm sure we'll mention a little bit more once we get like later on to the whole thing. But I do want to move on now. We've talked a lot about our theater experiences and what went into it and whatnot, but let's talk about the movie itself. And for anyone who's been listening to our bullshit so far, I do want to give a little bit of a warning now. You know, if you didn't read the description, there will be spoilers in this discussion. That is what this whole thing is about, that we can just talk about our feelings on the movie unfiltered. So if you do not want to get spoiled to the movie, stop watching. Either that, or maybe you don't give a shit. I don't know. I'm not your dad. Just be forewarned. Don't complain about it in the comments. There's spoilers in this chat. Leave if you want to. Keep watching if you want to. Blah. Rabbit, that was your cue to spoil the mid-credits scene.
Oh, right. Man, I can't believe when they introduced Sonya and Manic in the mid-credits scene. Oh, so excited.
His sister sells tacos.
So yeah, let's get into there's like 4 categories, actually. I was gonna say 3 for a second. There's 4 categories that I want to get into when it comes to the movie itself. The first is the story. So just thoughts on the story, or any particular scenes that you might have liked. Anybody?
Now that we're talking about the movie, it's all silent.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said the whole thing. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, what did Tori say?
It was just, now that we're talking about the movie, we're all quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean this is a podcast about the movie? I don't have anything to say about the movie. Why am I in here?
Well.
Dot, 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 dot,
Dot.
That was a pretty great scene.
Oh, I was laughing.
That is
Knuckles
one
in
thing
general.
I'll say about this movie. Like, Knuckles was the part of the movie that made me laugh the most consistently.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot more like jokes aimed towards kids and pop culture references in this one than the first movie.
Yeah, I noticed that about the humor, is that they at least in terms of like, they kind of upped it on the toilet humor from the first movie. Like the first movie had some too, but this one kind of like increased it a little more. So like every time I heard a joke about like farts or like whatever, I was like, okay, it's a kids movie. You just have to accept it.
It's a movie for babies. Moving on.
It did feel a lot more on the nose with it, though. Like when in the first movie, when you had Sonic flossing, it's like, okay, he's flossing, but you know what? The 10-year-old kid will get it and whatever. I can dismiss it. But when Eggman does it, it's a little bit more like, hey kids, I'm doing the thing. Do you not see that I'm doing the thing?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Not bad.
I do feel like this leans a lot more towards kids' movie than the first one does. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but
I can definitely agree with that statement.
Still forgivable.
Yeah. Exactly. Like there's some cringe in there, but it's it doesn't detract from the movie too terribly much.
I'm used to cringe being in Sonic anyway.
Yeah, exactly. We're hardened veterans of Sonic cringe.
Yeah. So
just like in general, though, the story I felt was a good one. I still think the first movie was better, just by a teensy little bit, but I think that they definitely followed up on the first movie in a way that I think was satisfactory, and it was a worthwhile sequel, or worthy. I guess I should have said that, but whatever. And, you know, you're listening to Skull 902. You should know that I fuck up my sentences all the time. But
I agree with some people on the internet that like the first movie had like a better story and better pacing, while this has more of what you'd expect of a Sonic movie in it. So
yeah, I can certainly see that.
yeah.
Like I just think that they did a good job. But there's some things though that I didn't mention in the like initial thoughts that we recorded after the movie. But I did mention on the stream with Vinny last weekend that just like in terms of negatives was I thought like you know that Tails had a different portrayal than I thought that they might have gone with when I was like going in to see the movie, and that in itself isn't bad. I just wish, and I still think that Tails was portrayed really well. I don't want to get that idea across that I thought that he was bad, but especially with Symph here, because she'll murder me. But
you know me so well.
Indeed. But I think that a problem with Tails and Agent Stone, actually, both of them, was that like there wasn't quite enough. And what I mean by that is that when Tails was like telling his backstory, I feel like they just kind of like mentioned it, and then it never really played a part in you know his character development or you know anything like that. It was just like, ah, man, when I first heard about you, I felt good about myself because I was bullied. And they don't even have like a flashback or anything. Like they gave Knuckles a proper flashback, but like not Tails, and like they didn't really build off of that. I think.
I'm not saying they did Tails dirty in this movie, but they clearly cared more about Knuckles.
Yeah, that's what I would say about it, is that like, you know, Tails was still portrayed well. It's just they cared way more about Knuckles. And then with Agent Stone, I think that like the promotionals and whatnot, I don't know, it just seemed like he was going to be far more active a part of the story than he actually was. And
he's still in this movie more than in the first one, because he just disappears in the third act of the first movie.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad that they had him in, and his parts were good, I feel. It's just like, I don't know, I think that they were kind of getting the idea, and that he was going to be more important to the story than he was, which, you know, it's a little disappointing, but, you know, when he's there, he makes really good use of his time, I think. But, yeah, those were just like my two main criticisms, I think, going out of the movie. And then another one afterward, just a small one, but I saw Cybershell's review not too long after seeing the movie, and he was totally right. What the fuck happened to Ozzy after the house scene? Because we don't see him again until the very end, and that poor doggo was just left to his own devices. I just want to make sure that, you know, he was all right. Apparently he was. He wasn't any worse for wear during the scene at the end. But like you could have shown him.
Well, how much do you want to bet they'll do like a special bonus feature short when the Blu-ray comes out, like Ozzy's Adventure or some shit?
That would be.
I would love that.
That would be fucking cool. You know, I'm all for golden retrievers. So you know, see more Ozzy. Hell yeah. I know. Vinny and Dennis on the stream speculated that Sonic and Tails took him to, oh god, what's his name? Wes? Is it? Tom's friend? Wade. That's
the other
that's
cop guy, yeah.
Yeah. Wade. Thank you, Symph. And, you know, that's my hope, too. It's just, it would have been nice to see Sonic and Tails be like, hey, can you take care of the dog?
The dog is very important. The dog is an integral character.
Exactly.
Plays an important role in this plot.
Yeah, so just those are my three criticisms. Did any of you guys have any of your own or anything to comment on in terms of those criticisms?
Why the fuck does Sonic have blue arms?
Yeah, I know, right?
As far as like input on that, like I like how Lieutenant Stone seems to like slip away by the end, so he may play a more major role in the next movie, especially considering that it's very possible this is probably Jim Carrey's last movie.
Yeah, that's true. I did like this setup for Stone potentially being one of the villains of the third movie.
Yeah. I don't have any major criticisms off the top of my head other than like I wish there was a bit more adult humor in there, but the movie's not necessarily for me, so whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I think that in terms of like stuff that might fly over kids' heads or might be a reference to people who know Sonic a little more than other people, I think that it was all right. You probably could have used a little more. Who knows? But what we have in there is good. I guess another one actually that seems to be a general criticism is the whole wedding sequence.
People complain about the dance scene and the wedding sequence, and I don't really mind either, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, the dance scene I was entirely fine with.
Yeah.
The wedding scene I can definitely see where people are coming from though, or like it could have been a bit shorter. Whereas like I suppose
it could be because I didn't mind the human characters to begin with, whereas most people don't care about them. So.
Yeah, that's true. Liking the human characters from the first movie, I think definitely helped make that whole thing more tolerable. It's just like if I were to change one thing about that particular sequence of events, it would probably just be like Maddie and Rachel get held up like maybe one too many times during their infiltrating the hotel. Where I feel like maybe they could have just like been fiddling around with Tails' stuff and had more like accidental things happen, so that like the whole thing was just like a really convenient. Oh hey, all the guards are taken out. Hell yeah, go us. But I don't know. That's more like a nitpick than like a proper criticism. I feel like it could have been shorter, but I don't think it took away from the film.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much the inverse of that, where I really didn't mind the extended wedding scene at all, but the dance scene was kind of just for me.
You didn't like it at all?
Not in the slightest. I really don't like it when movies do that. Like, superfluous obligatory dance off. Like I really don't like it.
Oh yeah, there was a joke I really liked, like right before they got into the bar, where they were showing how menacing the place is, and one part was just slicing a fish's head off, and he was just like, "Run!"
I didn't remember that one.
Yeah,
but now that you mention it,
the grandma knitting the sweater with the skull and crossbones on it.
There's my cameo.
Oh man, I couldn't believe you were in this movie.
Yeah, me and Vinny were in the movie. One of the thugs looks like him.
Oh shit, man! I can't believe Bane was in this movie.
Sega, Paramount, let's get Tom Hardy in on Sonic movie 3. Come on, let's go.
I'd be down for it.
So, was that really just it about the dance scene then, Tori? Was you just thought it was kind of like, eh?
Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable. those it's like when in movies I see people just singing in a movie with no backup music. It's just like, I really wish this would end soon. Hated it in Guardians, hated it in this. It's all over the place. Outside of that, don't really have all that much criticism wise.
Gotcha. So I think then, in short, we can all agree that the story was good and that and that the characters were done well. If maybe there's like some places where things could have been better, but like they were still portrayed in an overall good sense. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Cool. So the next topic of the whole thing is let's talk about acting. For a moment, because a movie can be written well, but it's really emphasized when the acting is good, and I think that they did a good job here.
Okay. I think we can all clearly agree that the best actor in the movie was Olive Garden guy.
He was pretty good. Not gonna lie, I think he's low-key one of my favorite characters in the movie franchise.
Yeah.
Just like his deliveries are so fucking great. My personal opinion, Jim Carrey was the absolute shining light on this movie, much like the first one. That's not to take away from any of the other actors, but good God, like it's impossible to compete with that, I think.
Yeah, like, he's his usual energetic self. You can tell he's having a lot of fun with these movies.
Oh, certainly. But yeah, Ben put in another good performance as Sonic, I feel. Colleen as Tails, she had proven herself in the game, so I don't think that she had anything really to prove here, but, she did a
I already
fantastic...
liked Colleen as Tails, but I feel like this is probably her best performance so far.
Yeah.
At least the different director.
She did a really fantastic job, I think, and I haven't watched like all of Boom or anything, so I guess like I can't really compare much. But I've always liked her take on Tails. So it was really nice to hear her in the movie. By the way, I guess we can just like talk about that for a bit because the expectation I think might have been, at least that's what I thought they were going to do, is replace her with a celebrity.
Yeah, I was 100% like convinced they were going to use a celebrity in the second movie. So I was shocked when she was still in it,
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to have words if they replaced her.
Because, I mean, like, it's happened in movies before where,
Yeah.
like, they'll cameo and, like, hire a traditional voice actor to do it because it's just a few lines, and then they'll replace them with a celebrity in the sequel. So...
Yeah. All too common of a practice. I'm personally really happy that they got, like, a proper voice actor, the one from the games, to do it. And I know Dennis on Twitter posted a screen cap of a review from like some person who I guess just hates fun and was just like so small, smooth-brained, and was never satisfied with the size of their penis, so they had to take it out on everybody in the world. But they're like, oh, they got the game voice actor in here, so that just shows how kiddie and dumb this movie is. So like, first of all, it's a fucking kids movie, and second of all, like, how does that make it any less of a movie to have like someone who's a dedicated voiceover actor for something like this? Oh man, they got somebody whose job it is to know how to, entirely portray a character through only their voice. Wow, that makes it much less of a movie.
It's
That's
okay.
so dumb.
He was just jealous of Knuckles' four-headed penis, and he took it out on everyone else.
Oh my god.
Oh man. So yeah, just so Colleen was great is the whole point of this. Oh goodness. I thought Agent Stone, and I apologize for not remembering his actor's name, but I thought that he was...
It's Lee something or other. I can't pronounce his last name.
Rabbit also apologizes.
Yeah,
but
I'm sorry.
But he did a really good job. Just about the only actor, and it's not even like a negative, really. I think it was I still don't know what to think about Idris Elba as Knuckles, and it's not for like any lack of acting ability, because I thought that he had the emotion in his lines all down perfectly. It's just the voice itself. I feel like he had like a bit of a weird sound. And Idris also, it sounded like he had difficulty keeping up the accent that he was trying to give Knuckles.
I think I know what he was going for. He was trying to go for like more of a tribal thing, because that's really emphasized for Knuckles in this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also, more like, basically like Drax from the Guardians movies, very naive and warrior-like.
I think he did it best when they gave Knuckles something to be like funny at. Like when he was trying to sound more serious, I think was when like the whole thing about him having inconsistency with the accent really popped up for me. But again, it wasn't like he was bad. I don't want to try to get like that across, but I feel like hopefully with some more practice, because he is getting his own show, that there will be an improvement in the consistency and the sound of the voice.
I think he works for this version of Knuckles, but I could not imagine him as any other version. That's the thing.
Yeah, that sounds pretty on point. So man, anybody else got some points to make on the acting? I thought the human characters were good too. I just want to say that if I hadn't already.
I said it in our initial thoughts after the movie, and I'll say it again here. I think Idris did a better job in the movie than the trailer made him out to be, but I'm still kind of on the fence about his voice as Knuckles. I guess we'll just have to see.
I mean, to me, it's like, yeah, that sure is Idris Elba playing Knuckles. But
Yeah.
And for me, like, this is kind of his first performance that I ever really have an impression of him from, because, like, I know he played someone in the MCU, but, like, I can't even remember.
He's in the Thor movies as like the guy who guards the Rainbow Bridge and shit. Like, pretty minor character. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. This isn't my first impression at all. I liked that guy.
Yeah.
But
I don't remember that at all, so.
But yeah, so I got nothing against him and his acting chops. It's just the voice is definitely something. But yeah, just I don't know. In an overall sense, I think that that the acting for this movie was pretty good. So yeah, Trip, do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I mean, only time I've ever seen Idris in a movie was in Finding Dory. So needless to say, I didn't really have much exposure to him prior to this. But I thought he did all right. I'm not too big of a fan on how he portrayed Knuckles. I do, however, like that it was something unique to the movie that you can, you hear his Knuckles voice and you're like, oh, that's movie Knuckles. And it's, I think that's cool. I wasn't too big of a fan, though, in the fact that it wasn't, super true to the games. I'm not going to, whine and bitch about that, though. It's, like y'all have said, it's a kid's movie.
Yeah, all the movie characters, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, are kind of their own thing here. So
yeah, it's their own thing, and I can respect that. I don't really think I had a problem with any of the acting in the movie. I'm sorry to bring this back to a previous topic, though, but only real issue I had with the movie was how long the wedding sequence drew out, because it felt like it took at least 30 minutes of the entire movie to watch what's her name, Rachel, chase down the Randall guy. I felt like that could have gone probably, would have been better to be not in the film, but other than that, great movie.
Gotcha.
That was the greatest scene of the movie. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, I didn't really enjoy it. I was like, I kept, me and my buddies kept looking at each other like, is this the movie? Is this?
It was only maybe 5-10 minutes. So
yeah, it felt like it dragged on for a while, and sorry.
Well, I guess if we're going back to this topic, another small little nitpick criticism I guess I can make is that something that I would have liked to see is Rachel's daughter JoJo had that important scene with Sonic in the first movie. They don't interact at all in this one, so I thought that would have been nice to have that. But I don't know, that seems like a very small criticism.
Don't worry, she'll play an important role in the third movie. Just you wait. She'll be the Chris Thorndike equivalent, although more likable.
Everybody knows the series jumped the shark when they changed Tomatopotamus's legs.
So yeah, I think we're all on the same page about the acting for the most part. Opinions on Idris Elba as Knuckles notwithstanding. But next up is probably just going to be a short one, just like it was in the initial reactions. But just like the presentation in terms of editing, visual effects, sound. I think that they did a pretty good job, putting the movie together and making it look really nice. Though, some of the CGI I felt looked a little worse than others.
That'll probably happen when this movie is much more CG intensive than the last one is.
Yeah, and it is like a modern Hollywood movie, so you just kind of have to expect that. I think it's kind of. I guess if you compare the characters like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles to the Death Egg robot, I think is a pretty good comparison of that. It's like the Death Egg robot looked a little cheaper, for lack of a better word, than the others, but like it didn't fuck with my immersion in the story at all or anything. I just when I was watching it, I was like, these don't mesh quite as much as I thought that they could have, but it's whatever.
The only real nitpick I have in terms of presentation is that I want more Sonic music, god damn it!
Yeah.
Me too.
All we have is Green Hill!
Yeah, and in this film it was just like a weird variation on it. It wasn't even like really the proper medley.
Well, there's one point where like Tom has like just the original song ripped straight from the game as like a ringtone.
I don't know. I thought that they kind of fucked it up for his ringtone. That's exactly what I was saying. I mean, it doesn't matter in the end, semantics, but it definitely would have been nice to get some more Sonic remixes in there, for sure. Like,
absolutely.
More Sonic music, less licensed songs.
Okay, like jumping the gun, not talking about the part that actually has gun. Considering the next movie is gonna have Shadow, put Live and Learn in there. Come on.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Like in terms of just adding some more music, like when they had a Shadow in the mid-credits sequence, they could have had maybe a little "Throw It All Away" or "I Am All of Me" or something in there, just to indicate that this is Shadow.
Just imagine how bigger the hype levels would be if in the background it was.
Yeah. Absolutely. But as far as like the presentation and everything is concerned, I thought that they put it together well. There's definitely some things, like Rabbit said, they could have improved on in that department, and CG and whatnot. It's a thing. It's just going to happen in a modern day Hollywood film. But as far as the look and the feel of the movie, I thought that they did a good job. And that it adds to the good story, the presentation, the characters, blah blah blah. Any disagreements?
Nope.
Well, you see, they included Labyrinth Zone, which is the worst level.
Technically, that's a story criticism. We kind of been jumping back and forth anyway, so
this is more of a stream of consciousness with some organization a little bit.
Yeah.
We are professionals.
Oh yeah, totally. I guess since the presentation, I guess we've kind of settled on that. Before we get into overall thoughts, and just some extra stuff, since we are kind of bouncing back and forth, here's like a couple things that we didn't really get into, the comedy of the movie. I think that they did a fantastic job with some of the comedy. I'm really sad that I didn't remember Wade, because I thought that he was like surprisingly one of the best characters in the film, in my opinion. And when I think of the comedy, I always like the first thing that I think of is when like we have that long claw scene, and then like her hologram goes away. And then it's just like Sonic, Tails, and Wade staring at it. And then he's just like, he looks over at Tails and he's like, so he was your dad?
Yeah.
But, yeah, that and Knuckles, definitely. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was a blast when they tried to be funny with him. And again, like Jim Carrey just kind of speaks for himself, but I'll say it anyway. I mean,
it's Jim Carrey.
Yeah, he was such a great presence in this movie, whether he was being comedic or a little more serious. Like a couple cringy lines and actions, but for the most part, he was pretty good. That was an understatement.
I think he feels a bit more Eggman-y this movie, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that they built up to that properly as well.
Yeah.
And stuff. So good comedy, certainly. What did you guys feel about the whole Master Emerald? I almost said Master System. That would have been stupid. The whole Master Emerald thing where like it's the Chaos Emeralds all combined into one.
I think it's interesting. It's a way to make this incarnation stand out, and it's a good way to simplify the lore, I think.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
Because the Master
I'd say
Emerald
the
is
same thing.
basically just the power of all 7 Chaos Emeralds anyway, no matter what fucking Sega says. So, you know.
Yeah.
Team Dark doesn't exist. So.
Who's that?
I don't know.
But yeah, like
Money
thought,
doesn't exist either. You know that thing Vector's obsessed with?
I thought that it was interesting the way that they went with the Chaos Emeralds in the lore. One thing I'm rather confused by is Knuckles. You know, despite the Master Emerald literally being all the emeralds put together, like Knuckles rebuilds it without the Chaos Emeralds.
I think the Chaos Emeralds are there. Yeah, they're like on the ground or something.
I don't know. I thought the Chaos Emeralds were like warped away to somewhere. I don't know. It just seemed like he didn't have them when he rebuilt the Master Emerald, but and I don't know. They'll probably explain it better in the third movie. And you know, one thing, and Vinny mentioned this too. Did anybody else think when like Supersonic happened, and then like he floats down to the ground after the fight's over? And Tom and Maddie are like, "Oh man, Sonic!" And then Knuckles is like, "No, don't touch him. This isn't the Sonic you know anymore." Did you think that they were gonna like start going Fleetway and have Sonic be evil for like the rest of the movie, and that would be the sequel hook?
No.
No, not in the slightest.
Okay, so like, for a second I was thinking that might be where they were gonna go, and then they're like, "Lol, no, fuck you." So like I'm happy that went by the way that it did instead of going the Fleetway route, but it was a little interesting.
It turns out he's exactly the Sonic you all know.
Yeah, that's just what I thought. And then Shadow as the mid credits. I was going into the movie thinking like anything can happen in the mid credits was my mindset. I know that certain things are more likely than others, but I'm not going to go in like predicting that one particular thing is going to happen. I felt like Shadow was the most likely, and I felt like as soon as I was hearing things about like, oh man, there's this file from 50 years ago, and I was kind of like smiling behind my face mask, knowing what was going to fucking happen. I felt very happy because even though it didn't have Brendan Fraser as the president in that scene like Dennis dreamt of, I felt very happy for him in particular because he had always thought that it was going to be Shadow in the mid credits. So I was like, yeah, man, Dennis was right. I'm so happy for him right now. And it was just a cool sight to see. Everybody in the theater got really excited. I think that was like the only time that I got vocal during the movie when it faded to, or it cut to black rather, and I was like, let's go. Everybody was so excited to see Shadow.
Some people are disappointed it's Metal Sonic, but I mean, like, you can still show up. They can just pull a Godzilla versus Kong. Have him be the final boss.
That'd be a bit weird, but again, like, you know, Godzilla versus Kong did it, so I guess like
it's like they don't have to have the Bio Lizard. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, they, you know, they can do that if they want to. Symph, your thoughts? Because I know after we exited the movie, you were pretty vocal about it.
Well, two things. One, Tori actually kind of spoiled the mid-credit scene for me, so I knew it was coming, and
I already knew it was coming too, yeah, but I figured it'd be Shadow anyway, so like I didn't really care. It was nice to see anyway.
I mean, he phrased it in a way like Shadow might be in the mid-credit scene, but he ended up being right anyway, so I was like, God damn it. But you know what? I'll say it again here. My voice, my voice, my voice!
Yeah, that was Symph in the car for like the next 5 minutes after we exited the movie.
After we left the theater, yeah.
I want a recut of this movie where it's all the same, except in the final act, somebody just blares the Sonic Heroes theme in the background.
Well, sure, you know, more Sonic movie or Sonic music references. Why the fuck not?
Yeah,
they could have totally. Now I'm disappointed.
Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, Paramount, get on that, cowards. So Trip, just back to the whole Shadow thing. Did you have any expectations for the mid-credit scene? Did you think that it would be Shadow? Did you think that any character was going to get revealed? What were your thoughts on the reveal?
Unfortunately, like the day before I went to see the movie, some asshole decided to straight up drop the fucking spoiler that it was Shadow. So I was a bit pissed about that.
Boo.
Yeah, so I totally knew he was coming. A part of me was actually hoping that the guy was just lying just to be a dick. So I was like, okay, maybe it's something else. Maybe it'll be fucking, I don't know, Amy or some shit. But no, I'm really pleased that that's gonna be Shadow though, and I'm really looking forward to what they do with his character. I feel like there's so much they can do because fucking, I mean, it's Shadow. Like what else can I say?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of possibilities that they can do with him. If anybody's expecting it to be like a straight 1-to-1 recreation of Sonic Adventure 2, like have you not seen either of the two preceding movies? Like it's definitely not going to be.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, like
Wait, I can't believe that part and the post-credit scene where Honey the cat showed up. I'm so excited.
But I think the movie universe being so different leads to a bunch of potential with what they can do with Shadow. So it'll be interesting to see where they go in that regard. Certainly.
Honestly,
part of Grounder and Sonic 4.
You were saying, Trip?
I kind of predict that there won't be any mentioning of Maria in the third movie. Just judging by what we've seen so far in the first two, I don't know if that will really be, like, I guess, I don't know if appropriate is the right word, but I don't feel like it would fit in like the story at all.
I mean, Sonic and Knuckles' backstories are that their parental figures died, so I don't think it'd be that much of a problem.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't argue with that. That's true.
So seems like we've got everyone's thoughts except for Tori, R.I.P. So
man, I can't believe Bane killed Tori too.
Yeah, goddamn.
Bane, what?
It's a reference to the stream from last week.
Bane killed Vinny. There you go.
Yeah. So I guess now then we can get into our overall thoughts and maybe some extra stuff afterward, because I do want to talk about like a little bit more of the trip with Symph and Tori and our little experiences there. But just in terms of the movie overall, like I said, I think that it's a fantastic film. The first one is still a bit better to me, but my God, like they definitely made it a worthy sequel of the first one. The human characters, I feel like it's a bit of a thing. It's about what I expected, plus a little more. What with the whole like racial thing, I wasn't expecting them to go that hard, but it was just about everything that I expected in terms of that. But like in terms of everything else, we got good stuff with Tails and Knuckles, especially Knuckles with his introduction. It was nice to see Sonic sort of come into his own as a hero. I guess that's one thing. I was kind of expecting Tails to be like the confident adventurer type, because Sonic was like the self-conscious sort of loner type character that Tails usually is. I thought they were going to switch the dynamic around, but it was interesting, in my opinion, to see that that Sonic, through his experience in the first film, became more so what he is in the games, and then he had to essentially be the Tom in this movie to Tails. So that was interesting, but just the character writing was really good. Like I said, the presentation, just the story, everything about this movie was so fantastic. I personally cannot wait for the third one. And yeah, next.
I nominate Rabbit.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, okay. I thought it was shit, which is to say I liked it and look forward to more.
Oh, Rabbit. Symph?
Fuck, I've been trying to collect my thoughts for the past, 5 minutes.
Yeah, I bamboozled you with a 5-second review.
Yeah, thanks, Rabbit.
You're welcome.
I stick to what I said in the initial thoughts, is that this movie, in a matter of a few hours, has become, my all-time favorite movie. The characters were great, the story was great, I was either laughing or crying or trying not to deafen the people around me. Sorry, Skull.
No, man. I wasn't prepared for the Symph squiggles or the noises or anything. But I thought it was really endearing and definitely made a big part of the experience.
But especially my reaction with the gun announcement, I had a physical and vocal reaction. I just went, "Oh,
I love
okay."
that part where they were like, GUN. Really? Gun, yes.
It was great, and then the mid-credit scene. Let's go. There's my boy. Actually, that reminds me of my second point that I didn't get to earlier. Tori and I have been talking since we saw the movie about who the villain could be for the third movie, and for some reason, Tori is convinced that they're going to bring chaos in, and I don't see that happening. What do you guys think?
I don't think that they would do Chaos and Shadow in the same movie.
Yeah.
Not really, no.
Maybe in another one. Or maybe even in the Knuckles series or something, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I told Tori too, and I don't know. He just has it in his head for some reason, but what does he know? He's not a true Sonic fan.
Yeah,
he's not
like a
Sonic fan
nerd. Yeah.
What does he know?
But yeah, freaking love this movie. The day it comes out on Blu-ray, I am going to the store and picking it up, and yeah, go see it if you haven't, or go watch it again if you already have. I don't know.
Sega had nothing to do with this movie, so it's a good Sonic product.
So Trip, your overall thoughts on the movie?
I liked it. I thought it was overall way better than the first one. And as this one went on, I felt like it just kept getting better and better and better. Especially once they leave the inn, that's kind of where the movie really started to pick up, and I loved every bit of it. Very few movies have gotten a vocal response out of me, or a reaction when I'm in a theater. This one got a couple. Probably the louder one was when Jim Carrey started flossing. I was vocally just like, "God damn!" That I had to stop myself. But I loved it. It's so much fun, especially if you're as big as Sonic fans like we are. It's really fun time. I highly recommend it. I'm probably gonna fucking watch it nonstop once it comes out, and I can't wait to see any bonus features the Blu-ray may have. And there's the Knuckles series, right? That's coming out.
Yeah, that's coming out on Paramount Plus whenever. I think sometime this year.
Next year.
Next year.
Okay. Paramount Plus.
Yeah. Well, I'm still gonna pirate it. So. Anyway,
send me the link.
Speaking of vocal responses, the only joke that all the adults in the theater laughed at was during the part where Gun revealed their little sting operation, and the priest opened the Bible, and there was a gun inside.
Yeah, that was a fantastic one.
That was good.
So, just while we're just randomly bouncing around different topics with a loose sense of organization, like Rabbit said earlier, I do want to comment before we get into the final bit of this podcast, just talking a little bit about the experience after the movie with Symph and Tori, because I think it's a nice little adventure. So, like I said before, just before we went to the movie, we discovered that there was a Sonic drive-in, basically right by the hotel. Everything was on the same street that we went to. So it was decided very shortly after we left that we were all hungry, so let's just fucking go to Sonic. Was that I know it was the first time that I ever tried it. After having known about it for the last 16 years. Symph, Tori, I got the impression that it was your first time trying it too. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, one of my favorite things about the experience was we were fucking idiots. So we parked.
I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah, it was so fucking embarrassing. But the employee that we got was so nice about it. So we parked, and then we went up to the entrance, but then we noticed that the sign said employees only, so we can't go through the front door. So we were like, is there like a back entrance or something?
I'm guessing none of you knew that Sonic's a drive-in only restaurant.
No.
Well, it has a walk-up order, but we had to do it outside is the thing. So we thought that we could go in and pick up an order, but that's not you can get out of your car and order. It's just you got to do it outside on the patio, which is what the employee did after we like a bunch of morons just walked around the building. So we walked up to the patio ordering thing, and it took like a good 20 minutes, I think, after we ordered.
Was it 20 minutes?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It felt like a while. We were just standing there in the cold. I'll say this: it felt very nice in the hotel room when I could feel my ears again. But it was our fault for just standing around there. But it was nice and thematic to get Sonic after seeing the Sonic movie. There was no better time to. Very nice coincidence. So I guess, just for a fucking food review in the middle of this podcast about a movie, I would just like to say that after having Sonic Drive-In for the first time in my life, it was okay. The chicken tenders were, I thought they looked way better in the commercials, and I really wanted to try them so bad, but they ended up just being all right. The garlic toast fucking sucked. It was very floppy. It didn't have much texture to them in terms of toastiness, and it had no flavor at all. Dairy Queen had much better garlic toast. The tater
Dairy
tots,
Queen took garlic toast?
yeah, they have a chicken meal. I've only ever had it once, but it was basically the same thing as what I got from Sonic, except fries instead of tater tots.
I don't know if I've ever had their chicken tenders, but I like their burgers and ice cream and stuff.
Yeah. So the tater tots were good. But they also destroyed my stomach because they were so fucking greasy. And then they had a caramel shake, which is something I never see anywhere else. And I liked that. So
Yeah,
Sonic,
they have good drinks over there.
Yeah, Sonic gets an okay from me. It was I don't know, 5.5 out of 10. What did you think, Simp?
Well, aside from the embarrassment of almost walking into the kitchen, I will never get over that.
We all have to own it, Symph.
I don't remember what Tori got, and I can't ask him because he's passed out on the couch now. But I got a chili dog, keeping with the theme of the day, and tater tots and a Dr. Pepper. The tater tots were fine. They didn't destroy me like they destroyed Skull somehow. The chili dog was mediocre. Not enough chili, not enough cheese.
So you would also say that it was just okay.
It was okay. If I ever find myself at a Sonic again, I will probably try something else, but
Yeah. So that was our food experience afterward. Just you see a Sonic right after seeing the Sonic movie, and it's right by the hotel. We had to get it. And also, I would just like to extend my thanks to Tori for paying for the meal. But so we went to the hotel, we ate. Afterward, we recorded the video, and unfortunately, there were some more plans that we wanted to get to, but we couldn't because it was a very tight time schedule. So after we recorded the video in the hotel room, we had to call it a night, and had a bit of a time getting lost trying to get me back home. But we did see an Olive Garden on the way back.
We did.
So that was a nice little coincidence. But it was also a bit bittersweet. After having some conversation in the car, and then we got me back to my home, and I just wanted to extend the experience so much. Like I rattled on to them about how much I appreciated the whole thing and that I loved them, and I hoped that this could happen again, soon and whatnot. It was just an incredible day, and there was stuff that I didn't mention before, like pre-movie. Like when we were driving around everywhere, we went through my hometown, so I was like, here's the history of this building or this shopping district, or here's what used to be here. This is this place and whatnot. I was acting like a total fucking tour guide, and it was just so nice to have.
It was great.
Yeah, it was just so fucking nice to have, two fantastic close friends there. Just to, be this excited about, like, oh man, they're seeing like my home right now. This is so cool. And to have them visit my mom and stuff, like, it was just so fantastic.
And around the corner is the guy who shits on the floor.
If there was a local shit floorer, I totally would have. I should have said floor shitter. Oh well. But it was just such a fantastic time to have them over and to have them meet my mom and surprise her at the gas station and whatnot. So, goddamn, it was just such a great time, and I hope Symph agrees.
Absolutely. Like Skull said, it was a bit of a time crunch because we only did the hotel for one night, and check-in wasn't until 3:00 that afternoon. So I feel like if we had driven up on Friday, like the day before, and stayed the extra night, then we could have made more time for the other stuff we wanted to do, hung out a bit more, but just finances and stuff. But hopefully next time we can make that work.
Yeah, we were supposed to like go to the mall and get some stuff. I meant to get Symph like a proper birthday gift, but at least I got her nice Michigan shirt that she really liked, and in fact I took a video of it. Here it is. Happy birthday to Symph. Happy birthday to Symph. Happy birthday, dear Symphy. Happy birthday to Symph.
Oh crap. Ah. I'll be back.
Doesn't she look beautiful? So
I hate you.
I
hate you so much.
That was a bet on the game Michigan Ohio State last year, and I won. Haha. So yeah, she had to wear the shirt.
It was a fluke.
It was not a fluke. They were.
It was a fluke.
They were the better team last year. Shut up. So she had to wear the shirt because yeah. So it was nice to get her a nice birthday gift. Beautiful shirt that she looks very nice in. So
I sent the picture you took to my other friend that lives in Michigan that I told him about the bet because he and I were playing video games together while the game was on. And he sent back like 5 laughing emojis.
Yeah.
So he was very amused by it.
I know everybody who I've shown so far who's seen the video has absolutely loved it, and I hope the viewers like it too. And the picture that I took of you. But yeah, it was just such an incredible time. Getting to meet these friends of mine for the first time, and I've rattled on about that so much. So the last thing that I want to get into before we start wrapping things up is just in short, what is something that everybody here hopes to see in the third movie? Not necessarily a prediction, but just something like if you were in charge of like what's gonna go into the movie, what would you put into it? And for me personally, I think since like this movie was like the major character introduction was Knuckles, but Tails was also a big part of like the advertising, and he contributed to the story and stuff. I think that there is room for 2 characters in the next movie, and if Shadow's gonna take the Knuckles place, I think that the second one should be give us Amy Rose. Just just do it. And I'm also just really excited to see how the whole family dynamic that the movie ended on is going to play out, because like, it was just so nice to see. And I mentioned it on the stream last weekend that I felt so fucking happy for Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and Tom and Maddie and Ozzy as well. That once they were all together during that baseball scene and Sonic called Tom Dad and they were all like palling around together, that these six, if you include the dog, which I fucking do, hashtag love dogs. They're all just one big happy family now, and that made me so happy for all the characters and stuff. So I'm really excited to see how that's gonna go. So yeah, those are my two things. Give us Amy Rose.
I literally
and
started bawling.
yeah,
That was I thought that was a really good callback to, the inciting incident of the first movie where Sonic's like all alone playing baseball, and then he like runs around because he's so sad. But now they're playing baseball at the end of this one, and now he's like, found a whole family.
yeah, exactly. So. It was just such a nice way to go about it. So again, those are my two things. I'm really excited to see how the family dynamic goes. And please introduce Amy Rose to the movie franchise. So
it's really nice to have a thing where Sonic and Knuckles are actually really good friends with each other.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, in terms of wishes and whatnot for the next movie, what do you guys got to say?
I think I speak for every Sonic fan when I say Chris Thorndike should be in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we just need a character who's overly clingy to Sonic and just whines about everything and doesn't do anything himself, except for in the third season. But that's a topic for another day.
Yes, exactly.
So is that like the only thing, or do you have any actual?
I'll probably think of an actual thing, and I'll make somebody else go first.
How about you, Trip?
Honestly, you kind of hit it right, like right on the nose, Skull. I'd say the same thing too. That like literally everything you just said. In terms of like characters, I would not be surprised if they would also have Rouge along with Shadow, because I feel like those two just kind of go together, no matter where, what they're in.
That's
as long as fucking Omega isn't in there, because Team Dark does not exist.
Boo.
Fucking Sega.
It's Team Dark. I truly believe that like third one is going to be fucking fantastic. If this one was great, next one's probably going to be even better. I'm just excited. There's nothing to it. Nothing else to it. I'm just fucking hyped.
Gotcha. So, Symph, any particular desires or wishes for the next one?
I feel like we pretty much covered anything that I could possibly say. So, give us Amy and give us more Sonic remixes. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Yeah, basically.
Gotcha. So Rabid, have you come up with an actual one, or are you just gonna say I agree too?
I mean, I like it if Maria and Gerald were in there because Shadow. But if they're not, then like whatever.
That's fair.
They decide to go in a different direction.
Yeah, they could definitely, considering how different the movie universe is, it'll be very interesting to see where they go with it. That being said, though, in terms of Gerald, like I said on the stream last weekend, it'd be really interesting to have Gerald in the movie. But honestly, I don't know who you're going to get to play Jim Carrey's grandfather, because like the only candidate I can think of, Wilford Brimley, is dead. So,
Oh.
But I'm sure that they'll make it work. So that's essentially your thing, is Maria and Gerald.
I guess so, yeah. But like again, they're not necessarily essential. It'd just be nice if they were there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said a while ago, they could do whatever the fuck they want because these movies are their own thing. But
yeah.
Oh! I just had a thought.
Okay, Sim.
I don't know if this necessarily adds to the topic, but it's something that I was talking to Tori about last weekend or whenever. whoever they get to voice Shadow, please, for the love of God, Paramount or whoever, take your time and carefully consider your candidates. Because if they fuck up Shadow's voice, I am going to be angry.
I've heard people lately say Keanu Reeves, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking the whole time, is that if they were gonna, like, since the first movie, honestly, I was thinking if they were gonna put Shadow the Hedgehog in there, Keanu Reeves would be like my first choice for celebrity voices.
Yeah.
Obviously, could be Chris Pratt.
Oh God.
Okay, I've got one more character. If they don't have British newscaster lady in this, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Sonic the Hedgehog is taking all the Chaos Emeralds.
Oh, goodness. So, yeah. My God. It would be a nice Sonic Adventure 2 reference, but on that note, everybody, my goodness. Just one more time, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is such a fucking fantastic movie. And like Simp said, you know, if you haven't seen it, go see it. If you have seen it, try to see it again. I myself might be seeing it again tomorrow. So, you know, it's just such a wonderful time, especially if you're a big Sonic nerd like we are. And I personally feel like your time will not be wasted one bit if you go ahead and see this flick. So
if you don't see it at least 5 times, are you even really a real Sonic fan?
Exactly.
I guess in my friend circle, that would mean Vinny is the only real Sonic fan.
Wait, has he seriously seen it like 5 times?
I think he's seen it 4, and he has plans to see it more.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so my goodness. I think that'll just about do it here for the Protocast 2, or the Pro 2 cast, whatever I end up calling it. So yeah, this has been a blast. I appreciate all of you being on here.
Yeah, of course.
Woo!
So yeah, my goodness. That'll do it for this one. So with all that said, I have been Skull902.
Rabid Sonic fan.
Trip.
And I'm Simp. And somewhere in the living room is Tori.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you all for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.